Hi everyone. Great to see you guys all here to discuss and understand a topic which is of interest to everyone, the metaverse. And the discussion point for us in this group today is going to be the metaverse and how it impacts the digital economy. So before we deep dive into this whole topic, I think it'll be a good point to step back and think about what really is the metaverse. What does metaverse constitute? And it's interesting because there are many definitions. Some people think it's pretty much a kind of cyberspace experience. There is some talk about avatars, digitalization, different kind of money tokens that we will talk a bit more about with Sanjiv as we get into the conversation. But I think what stands out for me personally, the two aspects of metaverse, one is collaboration and the fact that it is an experience which is co-owned, which is for everyone together. So it's the promise of having an experience with people across the world which is synchronous. So me sitting here on this podium can actually experience exactly what somebody sitting in New York is also experiencing exactly at the same time, real time. So that's a big promise which draws people in, and that's why most of the entry has been through what we call games or gamification. Most of you would have read about Fortnite and how that has been a great experience of entry into metaverse. Now with that at the back of our minds, there is also another area which is something that we together as marketers and communicators need to think about, which is this whole thing of how safe is this experience, how this experience is impacting into data about us. Because every time we go into a virtual experience, we are sharing information about ourselves. How safe is that? How protected is that? Is that something which is going to bear with us in the long run? And these would be some questions that we would like to address together. I think I'll start off with you, Ramesh. Sorry, Rajesh. So the first question I think that I would like to know from you, because of the category that you work in, you're talking to a lot of young minds. And how do you see yourself as a marketer straddling these two opportunities, the metaverse as well as the real verse? Because you are a brand which goes into, every gully, every corner, through every pawn shop. So how are you looking at addressing this with all the young minds you are talking to?
Thanks, Aditi, and good afternoon, everybody. Very happy to be here with all of you for this session. And like you mentioned, meta is a four-letter word, which we are all still learning and sort of navigating our way through, and that would be true for us as well. But just to give you a context, we are a 2,500 crore company, and 80% of our sale actually comes from 1 rupee products. So that just gives you the sheer number of transactions that we do. And if you look at our brands, they are available in more than 5 million outlets. So 5 million, when I mention this to anybody outside of India, they can't even believe it's possible to be in 5 million outlets. And we directly service 1 million outlets with tens of millions of consumers. So in many ways, this product is a very touch and feel product that we have, right? And therefore, our business has been built on the fundamentals of brick and mortar. And I don't see that dramatically changing over the coming years. But having said that, I think we are also starting to take baby steps into the, the world of meta. And I think marketing, for example, is an obvious choice for giving opportunities to do that. Of course, there are opportunities in other functions, and we can talk about that subsequently. But maybe I'll just give you one example from the marketing field, which would be of interest to people here, and to also just showcase how we could companies could leverage meta as we go forward. So for example, recently, there was this Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, which was launched. And to me, the fundamentals of marketing don't change even whether there is meta or no meta.
Absolutely.
Right? So the fundamentals are, what is the strong consumer insight that you have? What's the brand essence? And what's the platform offering you? And the triangulation of that is what you're looking for. So what we had done this time was Alpenliebe. The brand essence is bringing the family close together. The platform we used was Meta. And the insight is, kids like to watch cartoon shows and, play with cartoon characters, etc. So what we did was, this is the first time ever that awards was actually hosted on Metaverse, right? So the kids could log in, enter into the Meta world, and actually interact with the cartoon characters, play games out there. There was a fun zone, and so on and so forth. So they could actually have fun with their parents, with the other kids, etc. in that zone, which really helped them to experience a very immersive an interactive consumer experience. So this is just one example of how we've started tapping into it, and obviously the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I think the biggest thing that Meta is giving you is the ability to create richer and better experiences for the consumers. But shifting gears to you, Sanjiv, you are in a category which is a lot more serious. You know, you are talking to consumers when they're really evaluating the pros and cons and taking very strong financial decisions for themselves. How do you see Metaverse coming alive for you?
See, guys, it's very important for us to understand what exactly Metaverse is. So Metaverse is when physical reality and the virtual reality is going to mix and it's going to become intermeshed is what Metaverse is. So a lot of us think a Metaverse is just a digital reality or a digital world that has been created. But it's actually a mixture of the digital and the physical world. And that's where the opportunity lies. And today, as marketers, you have to look at doing business in a metaverse world is a very different way of doing business. So Rajesh, I was in US in a conference, and there Nike and other shoe brands were selling digital shoes.
Yes.
And I was amazed at the number of sales they were doing. You know, there was a line of people wanting to buy a digital shoe. I said, why would you want to pay money? You know, you're paying bloody $300 for a digital shoe that you're never going to be able to wear. But they say, no, this is a particular model, particular type, and there are only 200 of them. You know, so
Yeah,
this,
the
so,
ownership.
after some time, I saw sold out. You know, and earlier they had said we have 10,000 shoes to be sold. And, I was thinking, kabhi nahi bikenge, yaar, this can't bloody sell. And they were sold out. So, we are living in a world where, he's been selling one rupee toffee, you're going to be selling a 1 rupee digital toffee. Okay? And that's the world we are moving to. Now, why do I want to buy that? It may not make sense to us, but there are others who it makes sense. And we have to look at it that, look, how can we envision it into our business? I'm a very passionate angel investor. I mentor a lot of startups. I work with them. That's my booster dose. That's my booster. So one of the most brilliant startups I've come across is a startup from Ukraine. Just before the Russia war started, these group of guys, I was doing, this Zoom call with a guy and a girl, and I said, yeah, they're very too good looking. Yeah. Matlab, kuch gadbad hai. Maybe Ukrainians are, super good looking. And after the call, they told me, sir, you were not talking to us.
It's virtual. It's all
So one
virtual.
Indian guy came up, and then this another guy, who had not shaved for probably 2-3 years, his beard was. So he said, we are the actual people. You were talking to our avatars. And their business was that they had created 17 virtual stars, 14 women, 3 men. They had created virtual reality human beings, with every, right from a, scar to a mole. And their aim was to have these people and then license them out to games, license them out for, future movies where these people will be acting like film stars. And that's the world we are living in. So there is so much opportunity. So guys, I just made some points for today on this thing and how we are looking at Metaverse from our business. Is that business has transformed from products to experience. All of us have heard that? Today we don't buy any product, we buy an experience. Yes or no? Well, so point is Metaverse is your experience. Because today when a person is buying something, he's buying an experience. That, okay, when I bought this product, how was I made to feel? How did it come to me? Like a friend of mine does a very similar business to you on that 1 rupee toffee. But today, 30% of his sales is coming from Amazon and other brands where he's selling that boxes of 300, 400 rupees each. And during the lockdown, he discovered that people wanted and they were addicted to having those stuff and they wanted it on their kitchen counter. And for him, he couldn't ship a 1 rupee thing. So he had to get a Pearl Pet jar. But then it is also the quality. So he realized he just took any Pearl Pet jar and people were not happy with that. They said, I'm not happy. So he had to do an experience. He had to do something. Okay, if you buy again, then this happens. You know, you post this review, this thing happens. So that's what we have to think of. And also, guys, second thing I want to say that way we are thinking of it is that today we don't have product managers. We have experience managers. I have changed the designation of my team. Okay, I tell them your designation is the way you are supposed to make a customer feel. Okay? So, you know, so I am the person who's going to make a crorepati. Okay? I am a person who's going to deliver claims. So my insurance team is a claims experience team. You know, I'm not giving you exact designations, but that is the whole spirit of the world we are living in. And we are moving to a world of now. Yes or no? Do you all agree? Earlier, we were very patient. As a brand, I could get a lead and I could respond it in 3 days, 5 days, 10 days. And there are some businesses like ours where we are still lucky. Like you may say, I want to buy a health insurance. You're not going to buy it in 5 minutes. Okay? So you are ready to wait for a couple of days, or you want a loan. You know, people, you're ready to wait. But that is changing very fast. Today, we are living in the world of 5 minutes. And this was a study done by Harvard, where they said, okay, look, if you respond to a customer within 5 minutes and from 6 minutes to 10 minutes, you know, what is the difference? What is the reduction in the sales? Would anybody like to guess? It's an 8 to 9x reduction in sales. Just between 5 minutes to 6 to 10 minutes. Because today we are living in the world of now. I want my portfolio report, I want it now. I want to go to the Bajaj Capital channel, send a message, send me my portfolio reports. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want anybody to call me. Okay? I want to be able to do it in a manner which is very easy, very quick. So guys, as marketers, today, you know, as they said, that even HUL has moved his marketing head to Chief of Digital and Marketing. And a lot of marketers today, when I meet, call themselves Chief Metaverse Officers. That's actually true. Because you are delivering an experience. And that's what we have to think about, that we have to think about experience. So whether I'm financial services or any other industry. So for me, it is maybe more important because I am anyway a service industry. For me, there is no product. My product is the experience. My product is the way I make my person feel. My product is the result he gets, whether he gets his claim paid on time. If he fell sick, was he able to get the best treatment? So at the end of the day, it's all about experience. And for me, Meta is about experience. And this experience is coming together. Like today, you know, we did a survey of our customers. What do you want? We thought they'll want a better branch, they want a place to visit. They said, we want a better digital branch. I don't want to come to your branch, but I want a digital place where I can go and find stuff. I can play games, I can do quizzes, I have service requests. So in the sense that our website today has to reimagine, it has to be a virtual world where people could come and do what they used to do in a physical bank branch. Okay, that's the expectation of the people. So we are living in a world which is a digital world. So for us, it is more important. For others, it may take time. But eventually, it's all going to collide.
Great, great. I think lovely points. And it's true probably for all of us sitting in this room. The last 2 years, you know, accelerated the digital journey for everyone. Who would have thought that you would buy Sabzi sitting in this room on your phone? You know, nobody would have thought about it 2 years back. But that has, you know, in a way become reality. And with that, I think has come a host of some of the other things that we need to think about. What is the impact of doing something like this? What's the impact of the information that I'm putting out there? How secure is this information? How safe is it? Is it something that I should be comfortable with when I'm disclosing everything about me on different platforms?
You have to, this is something actually you have to be very careful about. You know, today we are getting tracked. So unless you don't think about security, please understand, whatever you are doing, whatever you have done, whoever you have talked to, okay, everything is there out there. Everything is recorded. Everything is there. You know, today, tomorrow, if somebody wants to look at a thing, You know, earlier they used to be, I was watching one of the classic movies, this guy goes, parks his car, robs a bank. Today, if he does that, the moment he robs the car, there is going to be a ping. He parks his car, there are going to be 50 video cameras recording every move of his entering in the bank. You know, even if he wears a scarf or he wears a mask, you know, he would have been caught on tape before that. The point is that today, you know, we are actually living in a world where everything is being recorded, and we were okay with that. You know, a lot of people don't understand why TikTok got banned. TikTok got banned because actually Meta and others are actually capturing every move, and that goes to, you know, that is getting captured, and governments want to play a role on who has the ability to capture that. So point is that there is security available. It is not perfect, but it may help you cover 30-40% of your tracks. But this is something which is very important. And this is one place where actually Apple is playing a great role. You know, Apple has changed in the kind of security an Apple product offers. Like I was personally thinking in the morning that there's a new Samsung launch. Yes. But I was thinking, you know, this is my current Samsung phone is probably going to be my last Samsung phone, because Samsung hasn't taken enough steps to think about privacy like Apple is doing. You know, Apple today has a VPN built in. One click, you know, no other site is able to track that you have gone there. Otherwise, we were living on an Android, we are living in a system that if you visit a site, there are hundreds of other sites which know. You know, they must be using, like I was looking at this product called HubSpot. Okay, one of my friends uses it. You know, his customer goes to a competition site, he gets a ping.
Yes, absolutely.
That this person has gone and walked into this shop, which is your competitor. Yeah. That's the kind of world we are living in. You know, this, you know, he may have just gone and walked in, and I couldn't figure out how would they know that this guy has gone and walked into this office. It's unimaginable the kind of things that are available out there. So point is, it is very important that, you know, you're leaving a huge digital trail. What is going to be the impact of that? You have to start thinking, and you have to start thinking about privacy. It is very, very important.
Thanks, Sanjiv. I think that brings me to another point which you mentioned earlier, and I thought it was quite interesting, the Nike shoe example. You know, with this growth in Metaverse and people experiencing different kinds of things, people are also becoming comfortable with the idea of owning digital assets, not just in the typical way, but looking at things which may just remain as a space you have occupied in the cyberspace, so as to say. What's your thought on that? Because that's the thing that we see a lot of, I would say, global brands trying out. Is that coming up in India? Do you think there's a space for NFTs?
Yeah, so I mean, if I look at it, and I'll just take off from one of the points Sanjiv mentioned, which is that, you know, the meta is the coming together of the digital and the physical world, right? Yeah. And I completely agree with that. And in our case, the products that we sell are, you know, candies, lollipops, chewing gums, which are products people like to put in their mouth and, you know, enjoy
real
the experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's something which is very, very touch and feel kind of thing. So in that, I think as we move towards the meta and the digital space, the kind of things that we are trying to do is, how do I integrate some of the product truth into the gamification and the other kind of experiences that we can provide. So simple example, I'm sure you're aware of a brand called Chupa Chups, right?
Yep.
Which is targeted at teens.
Interesting sour taste.
Sorry, say that again?
Interesting sour taste.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, unlike a Nike shoe where, okay, there is a badge value attached to the shoe and you might own a digital shoe, here I think people would want to experience the product. And teens, we know from data, are hugely into gaming.
Yeah.
So interestingly, what we've been doing using AR, VR over the last couple of years is to see how we can get them to experience and integrate the product into games, like for example, a treasure hunt. Or a snakes and ladder, but a very modern version of that, where instead of the snakes, you have the belts, which is one of our products. So the product truth gets integrated into the digital space. So there is that amalgamation of the two. And then you provide them immersive, interactive experiences, which is really what they are seeking. So if you're able to do that and keep dialing that up, and I think, like I think you mentioned, it's a ladder, right? Yeah. We started with simple mobile, then it goes into a higher order digital space, and then now starting to make entries into the meta. So how do we keep dialing up those immersive, interactive experiences? And gamification is just one example of how we could possibly go do that is probably the way I think this would evolve as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely true. I think that brings me to another thought. You know, all these experiences that we are talking about, they are not really seamless in a way. So there is something that you can do on a Roblox or something you can do on a Fortnite or something somewhere else. But it's very difficult today to move from one experience to the other. It's, each platform has its own rules, it has its own thing, and tomorrow if the platform doesn't exist, whatever you had built for yourself on the metaverse will also stop existing. How do you think that is going to be something that marketeers and probably brand builders will need to address?
I am not the right expert to answer that question, that how do you manage that. But what I'm told by the experts here, and one of my friends is like a crazy metaverse guy. You know, he's got his business in Canada and US, lives in Costa Rica. He read that book, 4-Hour Work Week, and he's trying to live that book.
Oh, wow.
And lives in a beautiful house, and he's crazy about metaverse. And last time I met him, like you were talking about your product. So, you know, today there's a huge thing of what is called a meta cupboard. So he's trying to make a meta cupboard, that I have my meta assets.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
going to be like a picture where you go. And, you know, he's tied up with, you know, I don't want to share this thing, but it's a food product company where you can buy digital food. And then they have these sachets which will go into that, which will give the smell of that food.
Oh, wow.
So imagine if you buy a lollipop, and then you know, you take your cupboard to the lollipop and you see your digital lollipop, and you'll start getting the smell of that lollipop. So, you know, this is where the world is going to. But as per him, you know, today there is a Bitcoin and there is Ethereum.
Yes.
And Ethereum is the, you know, is the key. As per him, all these things, NFTs, everything is based on Ethereum.
Yes.
And as per him, that's a very stable thing and it's not going to go away. So every time I do ask him the same question, that look, there are so many coins, there are so many things coming in. He says, Sanjiv, just think Ethereum. As long as it's on that. So I don't know whether it's true, it is wrong, but today that's supposed to be the backbone of the blockchain.
That's right.
As per him. And as per him, that's today big enough and strong enough to be there. So the probability of that failing is much lower than other things out there.
So I like this nice thought of picking up my phone and smelling something that I like. It's a good evolving thought, because very interestingly what we spoke about is metaverse is bringing together of physical and virtual. And probably, you know, maybe 5 years, maybe 20, I don't know. But in some point of time, we'll be in a room like this with different screens, and every screen you can interact, maybe by moving your hand like Matrix, or maybe by just thinking. You know, I'm thinking this and this is what is changing. So perhaps that's the future, we don't know. I think just one last point coming to the Ethereum thing, and maybe it's a little bit of a question mark. The government in India has been very, very strict in terms of, you know, what is allowed, especially in the cryptocurrency space. Do you see that sort of merging at any point of time with real money, real world? Do you see that happening?
It had merged with the real world. And we were able to buy currency, and now the restrictions are coming.
That's right.
But we have to understand where the government is coming from. This is a very high risk. You know, at the end of the day, money supply, if it's not controlled by the government. Today, what is happening in all over the world, countries are just printing money, and that especially happened during the COVID.
Yeah.
The US currency in circulation has gone up by 2 times.
Absolutely.
You know, today the whole euphoria we are seeing around the mega sales, everything, is about additional currency in circulation. So what is the value of currency? Although even what is the value of a gold-backed currency? If today they say currency has no value, I'm giving you gold. And then gold will also have no value. What will you do with that gold? So point is that whereas, you know, crypto takes that control out of the government. So I don't think how that will play out. We'll have to see, because that's going to be a battle and nobody, you know, knows what is going to happen. So when you are investing in these stuff, you have to think of it with that pinch of salt. And crypto, and plus understand currencies are one part of the NFTs or the crypto world. NFTs are another part, blockchain is another part.
Yeah.
So there are some parts you can still participate in. Okay? But at the end of the day, you have to see how can I enjoy it, how can I use it in my lifetime. That's my whole purpose. If you're able to enjoy it, like if I buy an NFT and I'm able to put it on a picture frame and I'm able to watch it, then it's fine. Whether that has value, not value, it's going to grow, it's not going to grow. But at least I've enjoyed what I have had.
Yeah, yeah.
Take
That's the
or
experience.
the kid is going to buy a special edition Air Jordan, which he's going to wear in his games.
Yeah.
Then he's
Yes.
enjoying it.
Yes.
Or he's buying their toffee, or which he's going to eat, and he's going to show off to people. Okay, look, I'm eating this. You don't have it. I was thinking of one of the use cases, maybe a Ludo, snakes and ladder you play, you win 100 candies, and you just pay 100 rupees for shipping and you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that can be a use. So there is so much exciting world out there. Guys, you just have to reimagine, rethink. You have to, today you can't be out of it. Okay? So like there is a saying, there's a very old saying that you don't get outdated, you get rigid. So please don't get rigid, be flexible, enjoy everything, appreciate everything, and know everything. Okay? So I may not believe in crypto, but I have a crypto wallet just to understand crypto, what is. So I may not believe in NFT, but I bought an NFT for the sake of understanding NFT. Okay? So point is that today it's a very interesting, exciting world, and take it as a game, enjoy it. And tomorrow you will be delivering these experiences to the world, and that's what it's all about.
No, very well said, Sanjiv. I think that brings me to the last part of our discussion, and what you said is right. You don't get outdated, you get rigid. You get too fixed in, I know everything. Rajesh, what do you think should be the 2-3 things that marketers should keep at the back of their minds when they start thinking of the metaverse? Because there's no final right answer. It's all evolving very fast.
Yeah, and just again taking off from what we were just discussing, I think the 3 things I would recommend that all of us keep in mind, not just marketeers but leaders in general also. One is to have a growth mindset, right? And I think growth mindset is all about how can I make something happen rather than asking a question, can it happen, right? So Meta is like that. We're all figuring our way out through it. We're all trying to understand it. So if you are able to have a growth mindset, I think that will allow us, like Sanjiv was saying, to explore possibilities and really open up the world a lot faster and in a much bigger way. So that's one. Second is, I think also our ability to fly the plane even as we build it, right? Because if we wait for that perfect moment saying, okay, I'm going to master the whole thing and then I will start using it, I don't think that's going to happen. So how do we fly the plane and build the plane as we are flying it? I think that's the second thing. And the third thing I would say is fail fast, right? Try a few things. Some will work, some won't work, but that's the deal of the game, right? So like you said, play the game. And if a few things fail, that's fine, but we fail fast, we learn from it, and we move on. So I think these are the 3 things I would say would be useful as we navigate into this new world.
No, absolutely. I think the speed at which we can react and do things is going to trump perfection every time, because the perfection is going to be a moving target for all of us as things continue to evolve. One last word from you, Sanjiv, in terms of what do you think is going to be the biggest block that we are going to face for Metaverse to become adopted by the larger markets, let's say a tier 2, tier 3 person in India?
See, this is a misconception that Metaverse is going to get adopted. It's already been adopted. Everybody is living on Facebook. If we are in a tier 2, 3, 4 cities, people are living on Facebook. Look at your own servants. Today, I ask my guy, every day he tells me what's there for dinner. Earlier I used to get, probably I'll get a message, ke sir, ye banaya maine. Today, I get, if it's a new thing, I get a YouTube video, where he's posted a YouTube video, and now he's made his list of YouTube videos, because he says he gives the recipes, he's got followers, that if it's one of his existing products, he will send me the 2-3 YouTube links. Okay, look, this is what is in cook. I said, look, every time you don't have to send me a link, but I know he wants more views. So he knows every time I'll click it, his number of views are going up. So guys, we are not living in a world where Metaverse is going to be the future. We are living in a world of Metaverse. Today we are talking about candy. I was in US with my daughter. She wanted me to try extreme sour. And we were trying Airhead, extreme sour, and this thing. I don't know what has happened, how the thing has caught on. Whether I go on Instagram or I go on any other platform, I see I see ads of extremely sour toffees.
Yeah.
And other day I ended up ordering something in here where I don't need to eat them, but I have ordered them because it's all around me. So today when we talk about remarketing is actually taking a person into metaverse. So metaverse is not a future, it is already a present. Today as a marketer, if you don't understand remarketing, the nuances of remarketing, what works in remarketing, what doesn't work in remarketing. So whether me as a financial brand or whether Perfetti, if a customer has come, bought their product and they are not engaging that person, it's not going to be the future. So we have to keep a person engaged. I had a point, we are living in a digital world. And I had made this point for you. If you are not connected, then you will not be recommended and you will not be remembered. So because there is so much advertising happening, there's so much. Earlier we used to live in the world of brands because there was very limited stuff available. If we knew this was from Pond's, Lakme or XYZ, then the quality was good. Then we moved to the world of reviews, where anybody, like today my friend who's making candy doesn't have a brand, but he sells 40 crores. He makes a profit of about huge amount of profit, but he's able to sell basis the power of his reviews. Because he made a fantastic product. The guy is a research guy. He's built an amazing product. So even when I try his candy, I just, how did this guy do it? It's all natural, no preservatives, he claims. So I can't vouch for it, but even today, other day I was talking to him, and we were all talking, world of reviews is over. When was the last review did you read? Did you read a review in the last 3 months or 4 months? No, even reviews are dead. Today we are living in the world of influencers and alliances. So what he was talking about, that they have to align with that games where their products have to be available. Today we are living, we don't even bother reading a review. We want to see, yaar, ye influencer kya kha raha hai? Ye influencer kya pehen rahi hai? Ye influencer. So we are living in the world of influencers. So even we are to a huge extent out of the reviews, and the market is changing very fast. So guys, you're living in the world of influencers and alliances. So if one takeaway I was to give to you, that please think of this, that how can you create alliances? How can you create influencers? Like I was talking to a brand which is into a product. They were telling me, Sanjiv, we want to give a QR code, give us X number of QR codes, which are financial nuggets, which help a person achieve great financial future. And we are going to print these QR codes so that person can unlock these nuggets. Imagine the power of that. It's so simple, yet so powerful, that these are my 15 nuggets. And probably the guy will buy 50, 60 products to make sure he's got all the 15 nuggets, because that will make his future better. So so point is, guys, this is the world of reviews is over. It's a time of influencer and alliances. As marketing officers, capture that.
Thank you, Sanjiv. Just, I think, one last summary. I know we are running tight on time. So the interesting part, I think, friends, for you is, as Sanjiv said, Metaverse is not something which is going to happen. Parts of it are already visible for all of us. I think it's on all of us to enter it, to use it responsibly, to be careful about the digital trails we are leaving or we are asking our audiences and consumers to leave, but at the same time, not be afraid to try and experiment with new things. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sanjiv. Thank you, Rajesh. Great session. Thank you all.